So last time on Honored Metal, I was a little bit on the mellow side with the music, and I promised that this time I would bring something much heavier, and I am delivering on that. I'm going to talk about Behemoth. This is Evangelion. Evangelion or Evangelion, whichever is the correct way to say that. Actually, I'm not really positive on it, but Evangelion is the way that I've been saying it anyway. So this album was originally released in 2009 on Nuclear Blast and Metal Blade. This is a 2020 version of this. This comes out on New Eon Music, and I got it actually directly from Behemoth's web store. Limited to, well, Discogs says 500 copies, but I'm pretty sure that the website said that it was limited to 1,000 copies, all of which are autographed. Orion and Nergal and Inferno all autographed this. Super cool, and actually not that expensive. Really nice, cool delivery here on the inside here. Of course, we'll get more into that. But if you're not familiar, Behemoth, God, they are just extreme metal when it comes to just sheer brutality. A band that really generates a lot of power live. I actually got to see them open for Dimmu Borgir on the Invaluable Darkness tour. That was 2008, maybe, somewhere around there, 2009. And actually, it might have been this tour, not positive, but it might have been this tour. But they opened for Dimmu Borgir, and I mean, just the energy that came off of these guys from the stage was intense. Something that I'll never forget. Really just amazing performance. Very technical, really tight playing. Really a lot of fast brutality too, but of course, they use a lot of the dramatic look, a lot of show in their appearance with some of that black metal influence. They've been called black metal. I don't think that they necessarily fit that category. Obviously, there's a lot of that influence in there. They don't necessarily fit in death either. It's definitely somewhere in the middle, but they have their own distinct sound. And again, super aggressive, really cool. Nergal, the frontman of the band, is definitely a true artist. Not only with the music, he writes most of the music and pretty much all the lyrics, and he comes up with just different visual aspects of the band, especially with photography, stuff that's really unique. Again, bordering on that black metal, but maybe even taking it a step further sometimes. Of course, most of their themes have to do with occult or, blasphemy and, messing with the religion a little bit. Well, a lot, okay. But yeah, anyway, these guys have actually been around for quite a while. Behemoth actually started out in 1991 when they first got together. It was interesting. I got to hear a few interviews of Nergal recently, and he talked about growing up in Poland, which is where the band is from, and how he, discovered different kinds of music and different bands from a radio station that would just play, basically the particular DJ that liked metal that would play full-length albums. And Nergal, not being able to access most of this music any other way in Poland, would just sit and listen to this DJ and record, onto cassette tapes all these full-length albums. That's how we originally learned, all the different bands that were out there, But as soon as 1991, they were already getting out there, and playing in Poland maybe not always so easy. One of those countries that can have some blasphemy laws as well, not as strict as say like Iran, but anyway, they started off in 1991, and by the time they got to this album, 2009, this is already their 9th full-length album that was released, and have of course continued on since then. A year after this album came out, Nergal was diagnosed with leukemia, and has had a bit of a battle with that, but he continues to stay on top of things. 4 weeks after a bone marrow transplant in 2011, he ended up going home and getting a little bit of rest and recovery, and talked about how he was anxious to get out and start playing again. So definitely a fighter, and someone who had a vision for what he wanted to accomplish and found his way to get there. Now, Behemoth, as you can imagine, like I said, it's a band that likes to mess a little bit with blasphemy. Is no strangers to controversy. In 2007, Polish officials created a list of bands that they thought promoted Satanism and murder, and they had intended to use this as a way to set laws to ban certain bands from playing in Poland, but it actually never really went into effect. For the most part, Behemoth has been free to play shows all over Poland, with a few exceptions. Nergal has been on trial several times, actually, for ripping out pages of the Bible. Managed to, of course, I think probably because as far as Polish musicians goes, they're a pretty big band there, so I think maybe that allows them to slide a little bit. In 2014, they were expelled from Russia for 4 years due to visa issues. So, again, they've definitely had their share of problems and controversy there, but just an amazing band, like I said. Something you definitely have to see. Live performance is quite impressive. And Nergal has other projects that he does as well. So, he even has his dark country project that he does on the side. Like I said, these guys are definitely artists and visionaries. In fact, during this whole COVID pandemic, they just recently did a huge online streaming concert, and they wanted to make sure that wasn't just another concert, so they actually went out of their way to find an old rundown cathedral, church actually, that they filmed this in, and used lots of pyrotechnics and tons of visual aspects, so it wouldn't just be like a typical pay-per-view event for what a lot of bands are doing these days. So anyway, Behemoth's still out there, and they'll be back for more soon. Until then, let's talk a little bit more about this album, Evangelion. So, the first track on the album is called Daimonos, as in daimon, as in demon. Even though the word makes you think, of course, demons at first, the word daimon is used in the Platonian sense, which actually means a higher self or a genius. The lyrics in the song were also inspired a lot by The Birth of Tragedy by Friedrich Nietzsche. Check this out. This is Daimonos. Track number 2 is Shemham Farash. It's a word that I'm slightly familiar with. This actually pertains to magic invoking 72 demons that legend says were entrapped by King Solomon in a brass vessel and sealed with magic symbols, and calling upon those entities. Track number 3 is Of Fire and the Void. This is a song about unleashing creative chaos, which actually is a term that pretty well describes Behemoth's music. The primordial nature becoming released energy and realized potential. This is Of Fire and the Void.
The
Track number 4 is called Transmigrating Beyond the Realms of Amenti. This has a little bit of inspiration from Aleister Crowley, the concept of the dead soul and its inevitable fate. Track number 5 is called He Who Breeds Pestilence. This is a reflection of the limitless freedom and the autonomy of every man through the denial of any higher power or deity. Track number 6 is called The Seed of I. It's partly a song about the inner self. It also has to do with seeking both the heights and the depths of the underworld and the realm of the subconscious stratum or the necromantium. Track number 7 is Alas, Lord is Upon Me. Just a little short song of just a little bit of added blasphemy. Actually, some of the lyrics are, I bore witness to the rise and fall of the tribes of Adonai and fallen short of the glory of God. Adonai being God. Track number 8 is Defiling Morality of Black God. This is basically a powerful enchantment calling forth divine force and fire. The last track on here is track number 9. It is called Lucifer. The music is by Nurgle, but the lyrics are actually a poem by Tadeusz Miński. The writings were influenced by dark romanticism and gothic fiction, so a good way to close out the album with Lucifer. Now, like I said, this came, kind of limited quantities. There's the back cover there. Whether it's 1,000 or whether it's 500, it's it's gonna go. Well, actually, I think they're already sold out. Actually, it's sold out pretty fast. Fortunately, I happened to be watching or following them on Instagram, and they posted something about this. And like I said, a lot of times you would think like an autographed album like this. In limited run, you would think it'd be, kind of like 50, 60 bucks or something. It was like 25 bucks. It's, really quite affordable. I did have to ship from Poland. But yeah, beautiful artwork to it. Of course, I love the pen and ink style here. The cross hatching is just gorgeous on this. And again, the autographs. I mean, how cool is that? The vinyl, it was just a standard black vinyl there, but still pretty, of course. And then it has this really nice little booklet that comes with it. Of course, again, I talked about the artistry. There's Nurgle right there, and the booklet itself, there's, let me go through all the different photos in the booklet here and the lyrical content. It's really sharp and demented. And one of the cool things there, well, let me go back to that there. You know, again, there's some of the artistic sensibility there. Just, I mean, that's taken black metal in even another direction, just that look there. Some further artwork in there. But yeah, one of the cool things about it is with this one, it not only has the song lyrics, but then there'll be little sections about maybe what inspired that song at the time. And then also, looking closer, you'll see some of the gold print here. Those are quotes from different people. You know, I mean, here's an Aleister Crowley quote here. And then this, you know, I talked about the song Alas, Lord is Upon Me. You know, this is a song about, you know, it's a little bit of blasphemy. On one side here, you got a quote that's actually from Jesus in the book of Luke. And then the other side, Caligula. So that's a nice way to mix up some stuff there and inspiration. But anyway, yeah, just gorgeous, really cool little booklet here. All the art in this is just phenomenal. So I don't know if you can still get a hold of these. I'm pretty sure they sold out, but you know, if you get a chance to get one, it's really cool. I assume that the price on these, you know, now that it's sold out, it's gonna skyrocket. But yeah, if you can grab one, then absolutely do so. Very cool stuff, and check out any Behemoth stuff. I mean, really, in every sense of the word, he's definitely these are artists, and definitely brutal, heavy, extreme. Definitely see them live. All right, anyway, that's going to be it for this month's Honored Metal. So let's get back to closing up the show.